Hello and welcome back to Bizarre Coverage. We're here for round 4. I'm Dylan Kakawa and this is Isaac Lee. We've got our names swapped around at the moment. We're doing great impersonation of each other. You're not talking and I'm being a psychologist. I like it.
Excellent.
All right, so what do we have for us waiting in round 4, Isaac?
Yeah, so we've got JD Hawke on Jonns, which is going to be really interesting. As I haven't seen Jonns being played very often, but it's got a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, it's had a huge meta share in Canberra that I've noticed especially. It seems to be very popular here amongst a lot of the locals.
Is that in response to Grixis?
I don't know. I think it is just still a popular archetype that plays out really well, and people like to play Magic in a very interactive sort of way. Except those who don't, but they can do whatever they want, really.
Yeah, cool. Speaking of Grixis, that's what Ryan is on.
Yeah.
So, Jonns versus Grixis.
So, all the interaction here, I like it.
Yeah.
We've got Thoughtseize decks on both sides.
There's a couple of interesting cards that I'm looking forward to seeing if they pop off. Natural Order being one of the big ones from JD. So Natural Order into Atraxa to get maximum value. And looks like a mulligan here with Ryan on the play and starting off with a Preordain.
Yep, so Preordain off the Gloomlake Verge, one to top and one to bottom. Ryan's going to take that. Pass the turn, back to JD. They're going to start with a fetch land. And they have a choice here of Deathrite or Birds of Paradise. So choosing to go with the more powerful option of the two, lead that one out first.
Yep. With knowing that they have 2 fetch lands in hand. I noticed that the Delighted Halfling went to the bottom there.
I think that because JD already had a Mana Dork, and they have diminishing returns on Mana Dorks in this deck, especially against Grixis, where all their cards aren't dead. Yep. Whereas Mana Dorks can definitely become dead later in the game. So I think it is a smart move to not be too reliant on those Mana Dorks, because even if they don't get cleaned up, they don't necessarily lead to good ways to win the game. Ryan's going to take us away with a DRC and...
Dismember.
Dismember.
Yeah.
So dismembering the Deathrite, or, dismembering the Dork is always good, but I think JD maybe led with the Deathrite to potentially tax Ryan's graveyard if they were given the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially with cards like DRC that require Delirium in order to become more powerful. But we've got a Birds of Paradise as well from JD if they'd like to run that one out. So not out of Mana Dorks here.
Yeah, so the second Mana Dork is definitely beneficial in this case and worked out for them. Also, it means they get to sack this Marsh Flats and get a Surveil land. So I think they're hoping to get to 3 mana, at least to guarantee it. So this gives them 2 options. 1, the birds can do it, or 2, the fetch land can maybe Surveil into something. So Thoughtseize coming out for Ryan here, getting to Surveil. And we see an Endurance, Molten Collapse, Abrupt K, and a Baragoyev. What do you reckon is the scariest card in this hand?
I tell you what, with that DRC, if that's your game plan to get in there, then maybe the Endurance is something that's going to be really annoying. But straight up on power level, Ryan has chosen the Baragoyev because if unchecked, that card just does so much damage.
Oh, yeah.
And then that looks like a Ragavan as well. And a tapped Mystic Sanctuary.
So Ryan, knowing that the shield's down for this turn at least, is deploying multiple threats to try and catch up JD on mana a bit, make it a bit difficult. They could draw a 4th land here in theory, go Molten Collapse, Abrupt Decay, but I'm not sure that's a particularly winning proposition at that point.
Tell you what's pretty interesting, that Endurance, right? So it can target Ryan's graveyard, shuffle it back into the library, right, at the bottom, and the DRC says it has to attack if it has Delirium. So you can be in a position where, okay, Ryan, you have to attack with that DRC. I'm then going to shrink it and then block it and eat it with that Endurance, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Ryan also doesn't have Delirium at the moment. He's got 3 card types, so he's not forced to attack just yet. So definitely knowing about that Endurance, though, and being able to play around it is, incredibly valuable information. I did spy earlier a Cling to Dust in Ryan's hand. I'm not sure what his other card is at the moment, but Cling is very useful in these kinds of matchups, just a long, grindy piece. JD's looking like they're deciding if they want to leave open the Endurance or go for some removal spells. And they've chosen to pass the turn, leaving open the Endurance.
And look, shout out to JD for revealing those cards from the Thoughtseize and then just playing them face up.
Yeah, so Ryan's got in hand, has drawn an Underground Sea for turn, got a Murktide as well. So this is really interesting because they can choose to develop the Murktide here, but it would go straight into the Molten Collapse, and it takes out the graveyard for the Cling to Dust later. But that's what they've decided to spend their time doing because they know the Endurance is coming down at one point, so they might as well get value out of it.
Like, it's pretty telegraphed from JD that they're going to flash out this Endurance. So exiling on the graveyard and using that to have a discount on your Murktide is, definitely want to do it now rather than later.
Yeah, so they've decided not to go for it, instead go for this Worldly Tutor. And they're going to get the Metamorphosis Fanatic, I imagine, but Ryan does have the Cling to Dust in hand. But
let's pull up Metamorphosis Fanatic because that card is an absolute all-star. At the miracle cost of black and 1, which Worldly Tutor is going to put it on top of your library, you get to put a 4/4 into play with lifelink, but then it also reanimates something. So it's going to get a Baraglyph back and give a lifelink token to it, even though the lifelink isn't going to be relevant.
Can you imagine if lifelink stacked?
Ooh, we'll double up.
Double up? Lifelink is a cool ability I reckon you could stack.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think the one problem JD is going to have with this play is that they don't have access to the 4th mana, so they're not going to be able to Miracle the Metamorphosis Fanatic and Molten Collapse the Murktide region.
Yeah, so we're going to have to take a hit from that. And if that Cling to Dust is in hand, then the extra bonus of Reanimate isn't going to go, but you're still going to get a 4/4 lifelinker.
Yeah, 4/4 lifelinker is very powerful. And see if Ryan chooses to fire it off here. Yep. Gets the Surveil as well. Always a nice bonus.
Yeah.
Put more cards into the bin to feed the Cling to Dust for later.
Yep, and a little bit of life gain off that Cling to Dust as well.
Yeah, so Ryan's empty-handed, facing down a Metamorphosis Fanatic, and JD is, in terms of cards, ahead.
Yeah, but there's so that's a 7/7?
The 7/7 Murktide taking out a huge chunk of JD's life there.
Thwack, yeah. But that Metamorphosis Fanatic going to gain 4 life back, so...
Yeah, the Cling to Dust as well can grow that Murktide huge because it takes cards out of the graveyard, which is going to trigger the Murktide, making it even bigger.
Yep.
So Metamorphosis Fanatic getting in for that 8-point life swing, and a Molten Collapse coming down on the Murktide.
Yeah, so some very fair magic here.
Yeah, I like fair magic.
Yeah, I'm going to attack with my 4/4, I'm going to kill your guy, I'm going to attack with my 7/7.
So Ryan's drawn a Ponder here, and I think the other card, I can't quite make it out. He's keeping cards very close to his chest.
I love that copy of Ponder, the Turtle Ponder.
Turtle, yeah? What is it you like about it?
I think it just looks ridiculous. That's what I like about it.
It is nice to see a funky-looking magic card every now and then.
So let's look at this graveyard. We've got like a creature, we've got a land, we've got an instant in the Cling to Dust, and that sorcery is going to mean that Delirium is turned on, and that Dragon's Rage channel is going to be a 4/4.
So going with the expressive iteration, Ryan's been able to stack his deck with the Ponder, so he gets to utilize the DRC Surveil to get through things more and see more cards with this expressive iteration.
Oh, and that Netherglyph just exiled there. Very nice expressive iteration for the Miller card. It's kind of like a 3-for-1, really.
Yeah. What's really incredible to me here is how quickly Ryan's managed to fill up his graveyard after Murktiding it all away so quickly.
Yeah. So still got that Endurance in hand from JD.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be a problem for Ryan because aside from taking out his graveyard, I guess he can still flash back the Cling to Dust in response to try and get some value, but he's going to make this Netherglyph quite small and this DRC also quite small.
You got a couple of options here in terms of whether you attack with the Metamorphosis Fanatic or whether you leave it back on blocking duty with the intention of being able to block the DRC when it's forced to attack.
Oh, well, JD is going for the attack here and going for the Endurance to try and shuffle the graveyard, and then Ryan's got the Force.
Oh, baby!
Pitching a counterspell, I believe.
Yeah, okay. So a 2-for-1, but you actually just like chump attack with the Metamorphosis Fanatic as a result.
Yeah, is going to gain the 4 life, which is maybe going to be a saving grace, but I think that's quite a blowout there.
Oh, that is a blowout. That is a blowout.
We're left with 1 Birds of Paradise versus a DRC and a Nethergoyf, along with a stacked enough graveyard because it didn't get shuffled in. So this Cling to Dust might just be enough advantage. And that early hit from the Murktide has still put JD's life total under a lot of pressure, despite the Metamorphosis Fanatic lifelink.
Yeah.
And there's a Pyrogoyf here from Ryan. That's a huge amount of damage.
That's a chunky boy.
We've got instant creature, sorcery, land, so the common suspects.
Yep. JD going to 3 with that fetch land, and we might get another Surveil land.
Yeah.
I don't know what brings JD back into this game.
From 3 life in JD's deck, I don't know if they have any outs. Normally I would say something like Metamorphosis Fanatic here is a way to try and stabilize, but we know that one's already been done. Reanimate's not going to do.
Natural Order into Atraxa.
Natural Order into Atraxa.
There we go.
That might be the out. And Ryan's got no cards in hand.
No cards in hand. The Atraxa would fill up the hand.
JD does have a Morlock in hand.
Morlock, so that could do some work.
I could trade with the DRC.
I think it would be 2, so it would eat the DRC, but
then the birds can't block.
But then the birds can't block, and then that would be death.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would. Yeah, no, we're in trouble.
I'm wondering if JD has a land on top here, and that's what they're thinking about, is to keep the land on top and have access to that 4th untap source so that they can play the Morlock, kill the DRC, and leave the birds and Morlock to block.
Yeah, I mean, an interesting question, because it does let you survive for 1 more turn, but it doesn't really let you thrive. So maybe it's just, yeah. All right.
Overlord?
Overlord.
So what are we trying to get back here with the Overlord? Because we've got the Endurance, but we don't have the mana to cast it. Springheart, Nantuku, and Ice Till.
Yeah, I mean, all right.
Gets the Endurance. Okay. So
the Endurance shrinks the Nethergoyf, but not the Pyrogoyf.
Looks like that's the line we're going for, though. We're going to evoke the Endurance to stop a lot of damage, effectively.
Yeah. But that Pyrogoyf is still going to be a problem. So this looks like a jump block on the Pyrogoyf. Shrink the other 2 things. Take 1, go to 2.
Yeah, looks that way.
And cast that. Okay.
So looks like.
And we've got a Cling to Dust still in the graveyard, so we might see a response from Ryan here to just exile something and draw a card before that gets shuffled to the bottom of library. But that Endurance is going to go away. So look, we're in a bit of trouble here for JD. We're in a bit of trouble.
We are in a bit of trouble here. I think, luckily for JD, Ryan's only got a Bloodstained Mire in hand.
Yep.
But,
okay. So
that can quickly change after this Cling to Dust resolves.
I desperately want to know what... well, we did actually mill 4 cards there. I don't know. I didn't see a Natural Order in the 4
No, it wasn't. So Natural Order is still potentially a draw.
Yeah, except that the Birds of Paradise, I think, is going to have to chump here. So,
yep.
Yeah, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
All right. Birds goes for the chump.
Goes for the chump.
1 damage from the DRC, and the Nethergoyf getting in for a nice clean 0.
Yeah. Nethergoyf point. 1 point.
I reckon it should be the number of points of damage it hit for that turn. And JD packs it up.
Well, I tell you what, like, when I first heard about Nethergoyf getting a point, I was like, really? Like, I mean, Brainstorm, for instance, I think is a more powerful card than Nethergoyf. And Nethergoyf's got 1 point. But then I just got trumped by the number of people that are prepared to pay 1 point for that card.
Yeah, it is. There are a lot of people paying 1 point for the card. It is like a very good 1-drop still, and especially in these black decks that do need some aggressive starts in certain matchups. Like against a lot of these combo decks, they need to develop an early threat with the interaction backup, because it's not particularly good having to wait to interact every turn when you don't have a threat deployed, because you'll eventually just lose.
Yeah. I tell you what did point out it's worthy of being a point, that game. Force of Will.
Oh, yeah. That countering the Metamorphosis, the Endurance there, and like making the Metamorphosis Fanatic a chump attack, just
Oh.
Very powerful.
Oh, like make my monster grow, because instead of it being like a 0-1, it's a 4-5.
Yeah.
And counter your 3-4 that would have been able to block my DRC, and make your Metamorphosis Fanatic a 4-4 jump blocker. So jump attacker, which is pretty incredible.
I feel like Ryan doesn't make the block there if he doesn't have the force of will, but I think JD makes the attack regardless.
Yeah, I think it was a good attack, and I think it was a good block.
Yeah, force play. Like, Ryan was also in top deck mode there, like, run out of cards. The force was in hand, but...
That expressive iteration. Mill a card, exile the Netherglyph, put, like, a force of will or a blue card into hand. Incredible.
So good in that situation. It's a really powerful card.
So let's have a look at these sideboards. From JD's side, I reckon Veil of Summer is going to come in, because that's going to hopefully be like a single mana cryptic command.
Yep.
Then we might see maybe a Maddening Hex, maybe a Carpet of Flowers coming in.
I think we'll definitely see a Carpet of Flowers and a Choke, both in JD's board. Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast, maybe bringing in one, maybe a second one, depending on how they're feeling. But Veil of Summer, definitely very good.
Yeah. So if you're in Ryan's spot and you are considering your opponent might be bringing in a Choke, has a bunch of value stuff, what kind of things are you looking to bring in?
So whenever I'm playing Grixis and I'm against a green deck that is not playing blue, I just always assume they have Choke.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Just a very powerful card that hoses Grixis a lot. So the first card on Ryan's sideboard that pops out to me is Submerge.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So Jonns always got forests in play, you've always got islands in play. Submerge is just a huge tempo swing for no mana at all.
Yeah, 0 mana. Like, put your mana dork on top after you've drawn a card, so that, like, you don't have mana for that turn, and then the following turn you're drawing a mana dork as well.
Yeah,
like, it's
you're
like,
just drawing it off curve after you try to play it on curve. It's just...
absolutely brutal. And speaking of brutal cards, that Choke from JD as well. Oh my. Choke, green and 2 enchantment islands don't untap during controller's untap steps. JD not playing any islands?
JD's not playing any islands. No reason to be blue. We're all Jonns here.
Yeah, Ryan is playing some islands though.
Ryan is playing some islands.
Yeah, so
I guess JD does have an Atraxa. That is blue.
Oh, that good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's also white, which is not in the deck either. But
yeah.
You know what I reckon? I reckon if you are playing Choke, you have to use an 8th edition one.
8th edition one, yeah, the whiteboarded one.
Yeah, you can't use the Tempest one. That's just too nice and everything. You got to add the tilt factor. You got to get in your opponent's head. And really choke them out. I
also like the French Choke, which is suffocation.
That's very good.
Yeah, so definitely some good options there. We're going to see a mulligan from JD here, trying to get into a powerful hand of optimally, right? From the Jonns perspective, turn 1 Mana Dork, turn 2 Choke or Barragoyf, or some kind of powerful 3-drop Grist. Any one of these cards that does a lot of work just by itself.
Grist is incredibly powerful in this matchup. Its ability to basically keep your opponent off creatures, because it starts developing with other creatures and taking out Grixis' threats, which they don't have a lot of, even though they are high impact, so it's hard for Grixis to overload the Grist.
Yeah.
It's also just very difficult for Grixis to answer it. They can't Spell Pierce it, for example. They don't have blasts for it, and it's just like a really sticky, annoying threat.
Yep. So turn 1 Surveil Land, green-black Surveil Land.
Keeping it on top.
Yep, and then Polluted Delta pass. And we've got a Veil of Summer in hand and a Delighted Halfling. Will we see the cryptic command here with maybe a Fatal Push at end of turn? Or will we see another Surveil Land coming on Ryan's side?
Ooh, I think it'd be very interesting if this Veil of Summer gets fired off here. It's like Delighted Halfling's not the most impactful target, but I think anytime you can get a Veil of Summer 2 for 1, I usually go for it.
Yeah. Veil of Summer's such a good card.
It's a bit of a dumb one.
When it works, it's amazing.
I think that's most Magic cards, to be honest. Like, when they don't work, this is not good.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why we play cards that turn off our opponent's cards.
So we see a Delighted Halfling there as well, which... so we see a Surveil Land, and then JD refusing to put the Veil of Summer. Just doesn't value the Mana Dork there? Or maybe is fearful of Ryan's response with the Arid Mesa?
So I think, based on what I've seen of JD's hand, it is a kind of... a fair few lands. I think I saw a bit of Triumph in there. I think you want to maybe save the Veil of Summer in this case to protect a larger threat. Okay. Whereas the Halfling is not something you necessarily care about. So maybe trying to use this Veil of Summer to hinge a later point in the game to try and really swing something.
Yeah, so I suppose if JD doesn't really have any threats there, or places a lot of value in playing a Surveil land there, could be the difference.
Bins a land, draws an Emperor of Bones by the looks of it. So this is a threat I'm much more interested in protecting with Veil of Summer, because this allows me to start taxing my opponent's graveyard. And against Grixis, even though they are usually a bit less reliant on their graveyard game 2 and 3, still a very powerful effect.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Emperor of Bones coming down, which is a new card. Although it has been around for a little bit now.
Been around for about a year, bit longer than a year. Came with us for MH3.
Yeah.
Along with other bangers such as Nadu.
Yeah.
So Ryan's sacking the Arid Mesa end of turn, getting a Badlands. Probably looking to interact here, which is going to run into a Veil of Summer.
Oh, but not if it's a Lightning Bolt.
Not if it's a Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
It's a Cling to Dust, though, so...
Cling to Dust, exiling, yeah.
Probably one of the fetch lands to draw a card.
Yep, that makes sense.
Don't think we care about a reanimated Halfling, and I think we'd rather a card.
So we could fire off the Veil of Summer there to cycle, single green.
That's true.
Card,
I'm not a fan of that. No. It seems like a bad use of Veil of Summer.
Yeah.
Ryan's picked up a Kaito here, but he can't deploy it because he doesn't have any creatures in play.
Yeah.
But Kaito, very good in this matchup.
Yeah, as soon as you get it down, particularly if it's any kind of empty board, then it's going to be pretty darn good. And I believe it's this Kaito, is that right?
Yeah. Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, the Ninjutsu Planeswalker. So being able to ninjutsu as a Planeswalker, really cool ability. Can't spell snare it, spell pierce it, can't counter it. Just a fantastic way to cheat it into play.
Yeah.
But you do have to work for it by attacking.
So we see an attack from JD here. Not activating the Emperor of Bones ability, because there's nothing, you kind of want to save it for when there's a creature that you can actually put into play. But the other option is to just turn it into a 4/4.
Yeah, the other thing here is getting to eat the Cling to Dust, just free. So take that resource out of the game and leave it out of the game.
Yep. Also, keeping the mana open means that you are now kind of playing around the Lightning Bolt effect.
Yeah.
Or Unholy Heat, that's the other one. So you kind of got most of the bases covered here. That Emperor of Bones is actually going to be really hard to kill with the ability to turn into a 4/4, as well as that Veil of Summer backup.
Yeah.
Did you notice what else is in JD's hand there?
I saw a bit of Triumph.
Okay, yep.
We see a Molten Collapse come down for the Emperor of Bones. I think that's a Pyroblast.
Okay. So, Veil of Summer to protect the Emperor of Bones. Do we have a counter war?
That looks like a counterspell in Ryan. Goes on the stack.
Yep.
And JD has the Pyroblast.
Is that Pyroblast?
I believe that's a Pyroblast.
Yeah, okay.
It's Secret Lair printing.
Yeah, very nice.
And it is a Pyroblast. So Pyroblast getting to counter the counterspell, Veil of Summer resolving, and a card being drawn. I think it was a Keynote Curator from a flash there.
Yep.
Which is another card that's going to really tax Ryan's graveyard. As if it wasn't taxed enough already.
Yep. So we didn't see an end of turn make my guy into a 4/4, which I think is reasonable. Again.
Yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather have it as a threat later for if another more important creature has to get taken out, we have that reanimate ability. So we have Keynote Curator dropping on the table. This card is a souped-up Scavenging Ooze. You played much with this card?
I've played a little bit of it in Standard, but I haven't played with it in Highlander yet.
Oh, it's really good in Highlander, especially when people are running cards like Urza's Saga. So you get 2 card types for the cost of 1.
Yep, for sure. So that...
So eating the counterspell just to prevent any shenanigans.
Yeah, so why would you eat the counterspell there? What do you reckon?
I'm playing around things like Murktide here, because the Murktide, you wouldn't have an option or window activation to exile it in response, and if it were for some reason still in the graveyard and exiled afterwards, you're just growing the Murktide.
Yeah, okay. So preemptively exile in the graveyard so that there's less fuel available to be able to kill that.
So Colgan's Command here coming in to 2 to kill the Emperor of Bones. I imagine the second mode is discard, given that JD's got 2 cards in hand.
And this, Colgan's Command and Unholy Heat, they're the 2 reasons why the option of growing that that Emperor of Bones and turning into a 4/4 at an earlier stage, along with the extra damage. There's definitely some reasons, I guess, to make my monster grow.
Yeah. Ryan's developing a Tamio alongside. This is a stacked hand by the looks of it. He's got Deadpool and a Kaito.
Okay.
And I think that Kaito is going to make this Keen-Eyed Curator look very silly.
All right, so we get an exile, another card at end of turn there.
We've got two card types.
2 card types. So once we get to 4 different card types, then that turns into a 7/7 trample.
The problem here is that there's only 3 card types that exist amongst the cards in all graveyards at the moment. There is a creature, instant, and land. There's no sorceries or anything else. So this Keen-Eyed Curator can't get big yet, even if it wanted to. Oh, Barragoyf.
Barragoyf. So that's going to be a 3/4 based on your information that you just provided to us?
Yep, and it's very shortly going to be a 0/1, I think, here.
So if you're going to play Deadpool here, what text are you stealing?
I think I'm stealing the Barragoyf here. I don't know. The Keen-Eyed Curator can be very annoying, but the Barragoyf having Death Touch and Lifelink kind of makes me want to put it on a Deadpool a bit more, especially because the Deadpool is going to have the Barragoyf ability of being big and make his Barragoyf into a 0/1.
Yeah.
Their Barragoyf into a 0/1. And, like, you can probably beat a Keen-Eyed Curator. For a start, you've got this Kaito. You can lock it down.
You got some options.
You got some options. So I like taking away as many options from JD as possible. And I think that's how I'm best going to secure and lock this game down.
Yeah, it makes sense. So when Deadpool comes into play, you may exchange his text and another creature's.
Yeah, so Barragoyf is now a 0/1. Is it Deadpool?
Oh, it's a 0/1 Deadpool.
Yeah, it's a 0/1 Deadpool with at the beginning of your upkeep deals 3 damage to you, and you can pay 3 mana, sacrifice it, and each opponent draws a card.
Oh, that doesn't feel great.
No, it does not.
Yeah, so that's a chump blocker at the first available opportunity.
So JD choosing to exile a creature, the least impactful one, to try and get this Keen-Eyed Curator closer to being big.
Yep.
JD has drawn a land for turn. Does have a bit of triumph for the Deadpool, but I don't know, that may not be even the most of their worries at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
That Deadpool is quite a problem here. So right now, because it's swapped the text to the Barragoyf, is it a 5/3 or is it a XX?
No, it's an XX, I believe.
Okay.
So text box overrules, in this case, what's on the card.
Interesting. Okay, so we've got a Barragoyf. Although the Keen-Eyed Curator can exile some things in order to make it small.
That it can do. The problem is if there is one card in the graveyard, it has still got Death Touch and Lifelink.
Death Touchy.
And don't know if we can get that many cards out of the graveyard fast enough, especially because Ryan does have an untapped fetch as well.
Yeah.
Ryan's life total is in a bit of trouble here. They're currently at 10. About to go down to 7. Luckily, Keen-Eyed Curator's not hitting for more. But they are going to need to start dealing with this Keen-Eyed Curator.
Yep.
So JD with another fetch land in hand. Polluted Delta, I believe, which means that I'm not sure if they have Commercial District in the deck, but I wouldn't be able to find it.
And we've got a fetch land at end of turn from Ryan and a Steam Vents coming into play. So no more Surveil lands here, just a little Steam Vents. No paying 2 life, just getting a little bit more mana into play, which is probably going to be relevant with that Tamio creating some clues in order to draw some cards. We might see a little sneaky Kaito come in here, maybe?
Yeah, could always ninjutsu the Kaito. I don't hate that. You get to redeploy and effectively untap your Tamio. Block a 0/1 Barragoyf Deadpool.
Yep. Or, could be a chump block on the Keen-Eyed Curator.
So, a funny thing that could have happened is if Kaito went to 0 and drew a card, and then Ryan redeploys the Tamio, and then JD sacrifices the Barragoyf because Ryan's drew another card and flipped the Tamio.
Yeah, it'd be a weird kind of situation that I would forgive anybody that doesn't realize that Tamio gets flipped in that situation.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of your opponent's cards as well as your own cards sometime, and when your cards are suddenly your opponent's cards, and I do imagine we will see this Barragoyf get sacked.
So Tameo, Inquisitive Student, 0-3, single blue, flying. Whenever it attacks, you make a clue token. And whenever you draw your third card in a turn, you get to exile Tameo and then return it to the battlefield flipped, which, oh my, have you managed to ultimate one of these yet?
I don't think I have. I've seen a few ultimated. I've seen someone lose after ultimating one. That was fun.
Yep. Yeah, that was JLS, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did go on to win the match, but it was still very funny.
Yeah, that was a great match to commentate.
Yeah, the Grixis deck has since included a basic swamp for these kinds of situations.
Fair enough. All right, so that Keen-Eye Curator is tapped down from the Kaito. We've got the Tameo out. We've got a bunch of lands from JD. We're looking like, I don't know, we're in the natural order waiting room again.
Yeah, JD is a bit behind as well. Their life total, not particularly high either. They don't have a lot to work with, and this Kaito is going to be quite problematic. And a K command here, going to take out the Kaito and maybe try and discard a card, just try and get back in somehow.
Yep, or maybe get back Emperor Bones.
That's probably pretty good. You get to deploy it, maybe exile the Baragoyf and everything else. So we've got to consider here from Ryan.
Yeah, see if we can find a Force of Will.
Yeah.
Or a Force of Negation.
Yeah, maybe sided Force of Negation out in this matchup.
I could see that. Although Choke,
it's true.
Maybe, yeah.
Could be really afraid of Choke.
So that was a pretty good draw there.
So Kaito Emperor getting to exile the Deadpool. This could be funky.
Yeah, all right. So we might swap the text on that Tameo.
Yeah. The other thing,
stop it from working.
Other things Ryan's got to be careful of here is that there is now a Planeswalker in the graveyard, so Keen-Eyed Curator can become that 7/7 Trampler.
And Ryan is on 6 life right now. So,
yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, that Color Guns command, that was a big game.
Pretty good. So Ryan's got Opposition Agent, Murktide Regent, Git Probe, Corey Steelcutter, and Dismember.
Yeah, so we can actually exile that Kaito with the Murktide, which... is that a Voice of Victory?
No, that is a Corey Steelcutter.
Corey Steelcutter, yeah. Well, Voice of Victory is a white card, so...
sorry, there's no Dismember in Ryan's hand, so he doesn't actually have a way to answer this Deadpool right yet. So Murktide coming down, exiling the graveyard, making sure this Keen-Eyed Curator can't get too big.
Yep, I really like that play from Ryan. Let's just get this Kaito out of there. Well, I don't want any food in my graveyard for you to be able to eat and make your monster grow.
So the thing Ryan, I think, has to be worried about is this Emperor of Bones getting back this Deadpool, because this Deadpool can target the Murktide region, and then suddenly Deadpool has flying, and that's 5 damage in the air.
Oh, and at 6 life, that's actually pretty dangerous.
It's actually lethal because of the Keen-Eyed Curator as well. Because the Deadpool is a copy of Murktide Region, it means a Keen-Eyed Curator is activated and exiles an instant or sorcery from Ryan's graveyard. That Deadpool is going to be a lethal hit.
This is why they pay you the big bucks, Dylan. I don't think I would have seen that play. That's amazing. So we'll see if that's how it ends up going down, because we're tapped out here. So what, we might have to see like a chump block from the Tameo.
The Tameo will definitely have to chump block. The Murktide does get to tackle with the Emperor of Bones, which is kind of nice.
Yep, okay. So Murktide would be able to block the Emperor of Bones, and then the Tameo chump blocks the...
Deadpool.
The Deadpool. That makes sense. But JD is on 6 here, and that Murktide is currently a 5 power, but then it would turn into a Deadpool. So...
it would still be a 3/3 with 2+1/+1 counters on it.
Yeah. That makes sense. So it's 5/5 to JD's 6/6.
So the other thing JD could do here is exile the Baragoyf and get in with the Baragoyf hit and getting that like a huge life point swing.
Yeah.
But choosing to go for the Deadpool here on the Murktide definitely means that the Deadpool gets to attack and eat the Tameo.
Yep, that makes sense. If Ryan sees the okay.
I'd count Ryan to see that play.
Yeah, okay, Ryan saw the play. Well blocked.
I think you also just want to play around something like Bolt there as well. Like, no reason to... I guess you die to Bolt because it bolts the Tameo, but play around what you can, right?
Yeah. So we've got a Flash Endurance in hand from JD, and we might see an all-out attack here because of that Corey Steelcutter. there's a bunch of different scenarios in which you go, okay, yep, I've got the win here. I'll just attack because the Emperor of Bones can only block one creature, make it have to chump block or something to that effect.
I mean, it would have been very funny if Ryan didn't block and then the lethal was Endurance, shuffle my graveyard and buff the Deadpool Murktide.
Yeah.
So we have an Op Agent, and Ryan's trying to work out how to cast 2 spells here.
That makes sense.
Try and force the Emperor to block, maybe. But this Endurance might
be clutch.
Yeah. Ryan does have a Daze backup, though.
Ooh.
So this could be a bit tighter.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
This is a big play this turn.
So a main phase Op Agent with opponent
holding priority, dazing my own Op Agent,
triggering the Corey Steelcutter.
Oh my! Ryan is cooking.
We paying for the days here?
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Yep. Paying for the days, and this also gives us a land drop for turn.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. This is. Then we might. Will this end up being lethal? It could.
So we have a 2/2 monk and a 4/5 opposition agent. I don't think it is lethal because the endurance in hand is going to be able to block.
Well, yeah, because of the endurance, but without the endurance, is it lethal?
Without the endurance, it is lethal, I believe.
Yeah, so we might see that all-out attack because that Corey Steelcutter is given the +1/+1.
Yep, but JD shows the endurance and Ryan packs it up as he knows he's dead on the backswing.
Ah, very nice. I was pulling up that Corey Steelcutter. I didn't quite see that clutch moment at the end there.
Well, that's the thing about Corey Steelcutter. If you blink, you do miss it and just the game's over.
Yeah, true.
Just ended on the other side this time.
Yeah, very nice. All right, so JD mulliganing to 6 there. And managing to pull it out despite being well behind, but drawing that Collar Guns command off the top in order to kill the Kaito and get back the Emperor of Bones, which then exiled the Deadpool, which then managed to create a chump block situation and take the flying off the Murktide.
Yeah, realistically, the best card in that game was Deadpool. It was Ryan's Deadpool that killed Ryan as well.
Yeah, true.
So that's what you get for putting Deadpool in your deck, I guess. You lose to Emperor of Bones.
Yeah, and look, fair enough.
But that is one of the great things about Highlander, and especially this kind of matchup. The interaction goes back and forth, and there's so many minor margins. It just keeps it real interesting.
For sure. The Deadpool trading card, just I'm sure this is obvious to a lot of people, but I didn't see it initially.
Yeah.
The fact that it actually trades card.
Yeah, it's a trading card.
It trades the card, by trading text.
It could be worse. I remember when the Transformers cards first got spoiled, they were showing them off, and I looked at them like, why do these things transform? And I said it, and I was like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Have you seen the reskin of the Transformer Blightsteel Colossus?
No, I have not.
So it's got Megatron. So it's called Megatron.
Yeah.
So that's the skin is Megatron. And it's got Blightsteel Colossus on one side of the card, but you can actually flip it over, and on the other side of the card is Blightsteel Colossus.
Ah, very good.
So
Megatron is not deceiving anyone. Yeah. He's Blightsteel in both forms.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so a little bit different here with Ryan being on the play. What do you think the differences are in terms of Ryan deciding to what kind of hands he can keep?
So I think that in this matchup, you generally want to, if you can, you want to have a snowbally hand. You want to just keep your opponent off balance at every point. It looks like JD has kept a slower hand that is a bit more reactive and grindy. They've got the Overlord in hand, the Colligan's Command, a couple of lands, and we've got a Mishra's Bauble from Ryan, choosing to use it now. What do you think of choose it now instead of on your opponent's turn to potentially flip Tamiyo next turn?
So the number one card that comes to my mind is Force of Will. So if you want to have access to Force of Will, then you want to use that Bauble.
They did use the Bauble in upkeep.
Okay.
So they have gone for that, so they might have the ability to flip the Tamiyo.
Okay. So that's the kind of classic play.
Yeah, a turn 2 flip Tamiyo is very powerful, and Tamiyo is much harder to deal with after it's been flipped if there's no creatures on the board.
Yep,
so onto an empty board like this Tamiyo is going to get really scary really fast.
Turn 2, flip to Tamio on the play. JD has their work cut out for them.
They do have access to 2 Red Blasts. So we did see a Pyroblast last game. Maybe they brought in a Red Elemental Blast as well. Yep. That is a good answer to Tamio.
That's a very good answer to Tamio. So we're going to say a Surveil off this Surveil land, Green Black Surveil land.
Yeah, it seems to be a very common play pattern in Highlander at the moment to go keep hands which get to Surveil turn 1 and do nothing else, especially in matchups that are a bit grindier and slower. You just want to get that incremental advantage. Sure. These Surveil lands are definitely one of the more interesting things to, I think, grace Highlander in recent years.
Yeah. Really changed the threat level of World Gorger Dragon and that combo, which, you know me, I love my combos. Oh, Malevolent Rumble. So
JD, I believe, does not have a 3rd land in hand. So what they're going to be able to do is guarantee that they have a 3rd mana in the form of the Eldrazi Spawn, and maybe hit the 4th land drop, well, the 3rd land drop anyway. What do you think of this card?
I've said it before, I'll say it again. I absolutely love this card. This is actually a card that inspired me to build a new deck. So Underworld Breach, Malevolent Rumble can... there's the Red
Elemental Boss play. They have brought both in and can't take it with Malevolent Rumble. That is kind of a problem with the card in post-board games, especially if you are boarding in more instants and sorceries and down on your creatures.
Yeah. But you do get an Auction Bowmasters, which is a great card.
That is true. It can be very powerful against Grixis. Unfortunately, it is usually better when it's a surprise. So having to reveal it is never quite the best, but Ryan does have a Git Probe in hand anyway. So I'm kind of tempted to cast this now, get it out of the way while the Bowmasters is still in the hand.
All my card draw cards are coming out this turn.
Yeah, and we got Baragoyev, K-Command, Grist.
That's a way to deal with that Planeswalker. Grist could come down next turn, sacrifice the Eldrazi Scion, and kill the Tamio if it resolves and you draw a land.
Yeah, does need the land. A few things need to happen, but they can happen.
Yep, for sure.
We do have the Overlord as well. Maybe get back that Dalthea cast at a later turn, or maybe this Glisser could run away with the game.
Ooh, Glisser. Let's bring up Glisser. Do you remember all the text on Glisser? Because that thing has a lot of...
So it's got First Strike Death Touch is a 3/3. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose 1. You can destroy target enchantment, I believe.
I'm going to let you cook. Keep going.
Yeah, you can remove 3 counters from target permanent.
Exactly, yep. And you got, I think you already said the other one, which was the draw a card and lose life. Did you say that one?
I didn't say that one, but that was the other. So it's always doing everything.
Yeah.
I remember when the card first came out with testing in Pioneer with a Crowan War. It's a very funny curve because you play the Glisser, Crowan War their creature, attack with the Glisser, remove all the counters from their Crowan War. Next turn it goes back to Chapter 1, takes the next creature.
Whoa. That is spicy meatballs.
So sick little combo here, and Ryan's developed a Baragoyev.
Is that a Force of Will I see in Ryan's hand as well? I think it's a Force of Will, but I don't know if there's another blue card in there.
No, that's not a Force of Will. I believe that's a pre-order.
Yeah, okay, well, it looks like a red card. There's a red card.
There's a red card. There's a DRC. There's a Mystic Sanctuary. There's a Kaito.
Oh, we see the land off the top for JD.
Oh, this could be a chance to Deadpool out the Baragoyev.
Yeah. I mean, look, options here. JD's probably going to hit the tank a little bit here because how dead am I to a Force of Will, right? Because losing this, the tempo here would be incredibly bad, but also losing the Eldrazi Scion if we expend all of our energy on the Deadpool, but then if the Deadpool resolves, maybe that's the best option.
I think the problem is it's not just you're playing around Force of Will, you also get blown out by a Daze here.
True.
So I think there's the number of ways you get blown out. Doubling just maybe makes you think about this play a bit more. You do have other things you can do as well as playing some amount at instant speed.
Past the turn.
Yeah.
JD is cooking. Something going on here that I can't see. So maybe it's just look. I'm gonna play around the Daze. I'm gonna play around the Force of Will. I'm gonna launch this Orcish Bowmasters. I'm gonna have a chump blocker for the Baragoyev, and then I'm gonna have some other things going on in the background.
Yeah, I think they want to have the ability to fetch as well, get another Surveil land, maybe find another land drop or something useful, and also deploy this Grist and try and take out the Baragoyev and maybe save the Deadpool for something else.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Just putting a bunch of creatures into play so that I can then use that as fodder to be able to kill different creatures with the Grist.
Yeah, it gets to shoot the Tameo as well for a point of damage. It's not irrelevant.
For sure, for sure. We'll see if JD has an Orcish Bowmaster's army token or not.
I think it's been blocked and they've shortcutted it a bit. They're just working out how much life Ryan's gaining.
Well, you know what? That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And maybe JD doesn't have the token, so yeah.
I mean, the token existed for a split second.
A split second. Yeah, we got to tick up on that Tameo as well, which is that's threatening some activation on the top end there.
Yeah, but not while this Orcish Bowmaster's in play.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? That's fair enough. That is fair enough.
Deploying that does mean that Ryan has to answer it eventually, and can't draw into more cards without getting punished for it, because if JD keeps making tokens and Orc tokens and blocking.
Yep.
And then the Barrow-goyf's never going to get through.
For sure. So Ryan has a couple of different options available. It looks like a Kaito there, and maybe is that a mental misstep?
I think it's a mental misstep or a spell pierce. It's a misstep.
Right. Hard cast Kaito.
So no ninjutsu, because we wanted the Barrow-goyf to connect. You can ninjutsu Kaito after Barrow-goyf has connected in the combat damage set, which is kind of cool. Done that with like Psychic Frog, draw a card and then flash in the Kaito.
Very nice, very nice.
Seeing an end of turn fetch with the Bloodstained Maya. I'm gonna guess it's the Raucous Theatre coming into play here.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Commercial District if they've got one.
This has been a game where there's just been so many options, particularly for JD, right?
Yeah.
Like and trying to traverse what the best option is very dependent on what is in Ryan's hand, and that's really hard to do. Really hard to do.
Yeah, especially when you don't have your Thoughtseize effects early on and such.
Yep.
But I think that's one of the things as well that draws people to both Grixis and Jonns as archetypes is just there's so many interesting decision points that you get to make.
Yep.
And they are decks which I feel really do allow a lot of skill expression in a lot of areas of the game.
For sure. So we see a tap out again for Ryan, which, I don't know, if I'm JD, I'm starting to think, well, is there a forcible? Like, you keep tapping out.
Well, so an Ice Till going into the graveyard there, which could have been a fantastic thing if it had resolved, giving JD the ability to like play double fetch from their yard.
Yep.
And that way just like cementing a mana advantage. But the problem here is you've got a Tameo, which the Bowmaster is not going to be able to do damage to currently because it has -1/-0 when it attacks.
Yep.
An Eldrazi Spawn with no power.
Yep.
And
does have the ability to be sacrificed to the Grist in order to kill a creature or planeswalker with that tick down on Grist.
So we could do that. I think if we do that, the play pattern ends up lining into Tameo dies, and now there is a Kaito and a Barrow-goyf attacking us with the ability to freeze down the Bowmasters and killing the Grist and getting in with the Barrow-goyf to connect.
Yeah.
So like I'd happily spend some loyalty on Kaito to do that, especially when my opponent is effectively tapped out.
Yeah.
I think the other option JD has is that they're considering is maybe the K command.
Yep.
Nurturing Peatland.
So we did draw the land.
JD's hand is like a little heavy here, which is a bit unfortunate because were the match going longer, this would be an incredible hand, but the swing that has taken place so early on the game has been very aggressive. So Deadpool being forced out here?
Yeah.
Oh, they're thinking about it.
Do I play this? Yep. No, okay, yeah. Okay. Yep. Taking 1 damage off the Pain Land in Nurturing Peatland. And do we have a Force of Will? Ryan is no.
We're finding out that Ryan doesn't have the Force of Will or Daze, because I think in either of those would have made a showing here if they had it.
Well, the Daze would have been countered by the Eldrazi Scion token, so maybe still has the Daze.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Here's a fun thought for you. If you could flash in a Deadpool.
Yeah.
And your opponent ninjutsu's in a Kaito, and then you Deadpool the Kaito.
Okay.
What's happening there?
Calling Judge and dropping and going home. That's probably what I'm doing. So we've got a exchanged Deadpool with Baragov, so turning Baragov into a... is it
0-1? Yeah, it's as big as that Eldrazi Scion.
Yeah, okay. With Death Touch? No Death Touch.
No. Has the only ability it has at the moment is at the beginning of your upkeep, this deals 3 damage to you, and 3 mana, sacrifice it, your opponent draws a card.
Okay. So we get a tap down from the Kaito, and then we're also kind of living on borrowed time here, in that if at any point Ryan draws a removal spell for that Bowmasters, that Tamio's ticking off, and game's over. Drawing half your library, game's over.
Yeah, I think JD would struggle to come back from that kind of position. Tamio rolling up because the Deadpool's not going to be able to attack. They don't have anything exciting to do. So rolling up with the Tamio is just probably the best option here, as it also defends against the Bowmasters.
Makes sense.
So DRS here going to do an interesting impression of like pseudo drawing here, but so surveilling cards and not actually drawing cards, which does get around the Bowmaster, which is quite nice.
So we see one stun counter come off that Deadpool.
Oh, there's a bit of triumph here for JD. Having access to 5 mana now, that will give them the ability to play Grist and Bitter Triumph. So they could take out both Planeswalkers do they wish so?
Big game. You do have to be a little bit worried about life total, because JD being on 12 life, a Kaido out, and the DRC, if that grows, then we're looking at 6 damage a turn. That's only 2 attack steps, but with so many cards in hand.
Yeah, I honestly think I would just discard a card instead of the life total here. Because you've got so many cards in hand and all these 2/1s ready. You've got a K commands. Like the Keen-Eyed Curator is maybe at its weakest here, because you've got the Deadpool, Baragoyf. You do get to tax the Dragon's Rage Channeler. But I think getting these Planeswalkers off the table is going to be the biggest priority for JD.
I can understand that. They're scary. And JD agrees with you.
Yeah, pitching the Overlord, that's also a reasonably sensible pitch, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think that might be too much value at some point.
And you can always get it back with that Coil Guns command it's in.
Yeah, and then it gets back whatever else, and it's just a never-ending nightmare. All right.
At this point, I don't even know exactly who's winning. What do you reckon?
I reckon, based on Ryan's hand, and what I can see of Ryan's hand, I reckon JD is slightly ahead. I think the pressure from Ryan has been slowed down, and JD is going to start to take over this game with incremental advantage. Yeah.
Look, having a bunch of cards in hand, Ryan's really going to turn this, I think he's advantaged somewhat, on the board, but, he's got to really turn it around pretty quickly, and he can't do that with any draw spells.
Yeah, so Ryan's going to be reliant entirely almost on this Kaito.
Yep. So we see a sacrifice on that Baragoyf or Deadpool in order for JD to draw a card.
And animate dead at that.
Yeah.
So could see some interesting stuff happen with Ice Till, especially if JD draws maybe the Wasteland or Strip Mine. They do have the Nurturing Peatland in play, so I think they have enough late game at the moment, whereas Ryan is kind of struggling to get that late game. So he's definitely trying to get over the line here with Kaito.
For sure. That Ice Till Explorer, is it?
Yeah.
So that is a 4 cost that allows you to play cards from your graveyard. Just bringing it up here. You may play lands from your graveyard. Whenever a land you control enters, you mill a card, and you may play an additional land in each of your turns. So, if you play that out with a waste or a strip, bang bang, take 2 out, done.
It's you even just need the 1 strip.
Yeah.
One of them just fills up both slots really nicely.
Yeah, for sure.
So Ryan's surveilling to the top, likes what he sees. It's a Hydroblast.
So it's going to be able to kill that...
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Dead the Deadpool.
So maybe the Animate Dead just ends up being the,
Yeah, it doesn't know about the Deadpool, so, now it's going to be able to take out that DRC.
Yeah.
And, a 7/5 flying Deadpool sounds kind of scary. Does have to attack each turn available, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna do a lot of damage.
It is, and let's see what Kaito chooses to do this turn.
That Bowmasters, just sitting around.
So this is now the 2nd emblem Kaito has. So this is actually a lot of damage coming into JD at the moment.
8 damage if unchecked. So we're going to see a chump block with the Eldrazi Scion, and then using that to Kolaghan's Command. So taking 1 damage. So JD's going to take 4 damage here in total this turn, and be able to play this Kolaghan's Command. Can't target that one.
I think I spy in Ryan's hand a Cling to Dust.
Yep, okay.
So
all right, so we're just getting the judge call here because JD's tried to do 2 damage to the Kaito, but Kaito is currently a creature with hexproof. So that hexproof means that Kolaghan's Command can't choose that, and then we're going to kind of maybe rewind a little bit here and actually confirm what modes JD is using in order to cast this Kolaghan's Command. Because you can't choose that mode and target that thing. Nope.
Certainly can't.
We'll just get this sorted out by the judge. So we know about that Animate Dead.
Yep.
In the graveyard. JD is on 11 here because of the 1 from the Pain land. And then we've got 3 more damage coming in over the top, so putting them to 8.
Yep.
What are you doing with this Kolaghan's Command? Like so many options.
In this position, I'm maybe trying to buy back the Deadpool.
Yep.
And maybe consider dealing Ryan some damage. Maybe discard a card, but like the damage option doesn't look at the worst because putting Ryan to 13, while it's not quite a break point for Deadpool, it is very close.
Yeah.
So like any fetch changes that math as well. But you know, making Ryan discard a card is probably the most optimal.
Yeah, I can see that. I could also see, with the Kolaghan's Command, not actually targeting the Deadpool because of cards like Cling to Dust and because it's 4 mana. And it's kind of like the best card that I want to be able to animate dead. And I kind of save a bit on the mana cost. And maybe I'm getting back another card that has, like, it's a little bit easier to cast.
Yeah, you could get back the Dalfi. You could get back the Glisser. That would be a really funny answer to Kaito.
That would be.
Have to force the Kaito to stun the Glisser.
Tell you what, though, you got to also animate dead on that Merc of the Baleford. What is that?
Overlord of the Bale Merc.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one to animate dead because it also means you would get like the Deadpool back or anything else.
Yeah.
But I imagine no matter what gets Kolaghan's commanded, if it does get cast, so we've backed up here and rewound. So I believe we're still after blocks have been declared.
Yep.
So it's also possible, like, whatever the Kolaghan's command targets in terms of creature, it just gets Cling to Dusted anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Ryan also does have a lot of cards in graveyard.
Yep.
And that's going to be a lot of cards as well to fuel the Cling to Dust in future. So you're not so bad about losing it by getting rid of a creature and not drawing a card.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, you're kind of drawing a card because you're having your opponent not get a card back. And when it's a card like Deadpool...
I mean, you can also make the argument as well that your opponent is a deck with Lightning Bolt in it and gaining 3 life is like drawing a card.
That is true. Like, the gain 3 life is, probably more relevant for JD than Ryan at this point in time. Yeah,
Ryan definitely on the beatdown, trying to end this game because I think it's somewhat telegraphed JD's hand is kind of clunky. Yeah. I think Ryan has recognized that and is trying to get this game over as quickly as possible.
Yeah. We've got that mental misstep in hand that hasn't seen the target yet.
Which is really indicative of how JD's hand has played out.
Yeah, a little bit awkward. Not being able to double spell as much. So we go back to 11. And we've got Kolaghan's Command. We'll just hear JD say that.
I think what is going to be a problem is one of JD's best ways to get out of this situation is to double spell and be mana efficient, which is probably going to rely on them drawing a 1-cost thing.
Yep.
Which means that
at this point, Animate Dead plus Grist. All it requires is a land.
Yeah, it could do that.
It could be Animate Dead on the Ice Till, be able to play a couple of lands from the graveyard and then be able to play a Grist.
I mean, we can Kolaghan's Command back here for a Grist, and then if we draw a land, we can go Grist and Animate Dead.
Yep, okay. So the Animate Dead's going to be pretty clutch here.
Yeah.
So in a weird way...
Targeting Deadpool, which looks like we're going to get Cling to Dust.
Yep, that makes sense.
Get a Surveil off the DRC for nice value as well.
Yep.
Ryan's Mystical Sanctuary in hand as well.
No, that was... it was, I think, on the Surveil there. It was being surveilled with the DRC.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't have the ability to flash back the Cling to Dust or whatever that...
Not this turn, at least.
Yeah.
You are kind of a bit shields down with only the mental misstep. Luckily, you're not shields down to everything. But you can kind of guess that you're shields down to JD's hand.
Yeah, true. So JD's on 8 here. Has the Pain land in the Nurturing Peatland, so that's causing some damage. Definitely wants to use the Animate Dead this turn. Not only for its mana efficiency, but also because that Cling to Dust is going to be unlocked with the being able to play from graveyard for 3 and a black.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Deadpool is now gone, so the Animate Dead's not going to have the best target.
We've still got that Overlord.
Still got the Overlord.
Still got the Ice Tail.
I think the thing you are concerned about most, maybe, at the moment is the DRC, followed by the Kaito. Yeah. Which, just because your life total is so low, this Kaito is going to hit like a truck, but you might be able to put enough bodies in front of it. It is currently got 2 emblems, though, so it is a 5/6 when it attacks.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
It is big.
And with that fetch land putting JD to 7, the Pain land putting JD to 6, that would actually turn off the Pain land in future turns. So, look, clutch turn here. A lot of different options available to JD. It's going to be very interesting to see what they go with.
They look like they're weighing up a lot of their options. Going with a Keen-Eye Curator here, I kind of like, because it means you might be able to shut off the DRC. It does also give you like a 1-turn window to get rid of the Cling to Dust for good.
Yeah, it's also great bait because it says, look, this is actually really good. It could potentially mess with your Cling to Dust. It could potentially mess with your DRC. But ultimately, I probably want to resolve that Animate Dead more than anything.
Yeah, and JD running out the Curator to make sure see if there's any sort of interaction. But I think they can probably deduce by now that Ryan doesn't have any relevant interaction in his hand.
Yep, okay. So
gets a basic
forest.
Yep. Guess it's not really playing around Price of Progress, but it might be later. Just from the lifelink you can gain from anything, because...
Yep. Grixis definitely has the ability to play Price of Progress.
I love playing Price of Progress in Grixis.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know Price of Progress, it ends a lot of games and is a card that actually creates some draws as well. So red and 1 instant, it deals damage to each player equal to twice the number of non-basic lands that player controls. So would deal 2, 4, 6, 8 damage to JD right now.
And 10 damage to Ryan.
Yeah.
But Ryan is on a much healthier life total than JD. So attacking the Kaito, we've Animate Deaded the Baragoyf.
But very relevantly, Animate Dead on the Baragoyf that is in Ryan's graveyard, which might actually turn off Delirium. I don't know if there's another creature
there is a Tameo in the graveyard. We have Tameo, Cling to Dust as relevant things. We've got Sorcery and Instant. So we do have the full 4 types. And I don't believe we can turn off Delirium. So Keen-Eye Curator looks like it's on chump blocking duty.
Yeah, that makes sense. So very, very close stuff here. Not exiling that Cling to Dust because of the life, going to 6 life could be relevant.
Yeah, it changes the breakpoint of that DRC, which can be a turn and can be a crucial turn.
Yeah.
Because JD also does have a Baragoyf of their own. They do get to threaten killing this Kaito if Ryan doesn't deploy anything defensively.
Yep.
And...
yeah, okay, so we got 1 token taken off the Baragoyf, so 1 more stun counter left on it.
Worldly
Tutor for the turn. And we've got Grist as well, so...
Okay, so you only have a few options realistically in this spot. And I think your goal is going to be to survive the turn.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we want to maximize on... We ideally want this Orcish Bowmasters to connect, get rid of the Kaito.
Ooh, 3 mana Opposition Agent in
Flashed
response.
in, getting to eat the Bowmasters.
This is going to be devastating.
I think that might just be the game with JD's hand there.
Well, you could also just play the Baragoyf, which has the ability to block, and that's particularly relevant. So I don't think we're quite dead here, but it is very bad for JD.
So I think I might have cast that Worldly Tutor in response to the...
And gotten Metamorphosis Fanatic?
Oh, maybe not. The Cling to Dust is still in the bin.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. Can't really cast the Worldly Tutor now.
Definitely can't cast the Worldly Tutor now, but you can play a Baragoyf here which would say, okay, you can only attack with the DRC.
Put JD to 1, and then the other Baraggoyf is still going to be stunned, and Kaido's going to get to tick up.
Yep.
Or even 0, and get to draw a card after connecting with the DRC, which is probably enough to get Ryan over the line. He seems to have managed to grind through everything with enough pressure, forcing JD to use a lot of their resources to do things like chump block and be behind on board, because this Kaido has really just shut down things.
Wow, what a game. What a game. This has been absolutely fantastic to watch.
So one thing JD might have up their hand, if they can draw an answer to this opposition agent, is they do have the Worldly Tutor and they have the Nurturing Peatland. So what they can do is they can Worldly Tutor for the Metamorphosis Fanatic and then Miracle it during their opponent's turn with the Nurturing Peatland.
I hear. Although if you did cast, you got to get rid of that opposition.
Yeah, you got to get rid of the opposition. We don't want to give a creature to Ryan.
Yeah. And you'd also kind of have to get rid of that Cling to Dust as well.
There's a lot of things we need to do here, and Ryan's kind of trying to cover every base that he can.
Yeah. So really, we need to just draw a 2-cost removal spell and survive with this Baraggoyf here.
But we get to start getting value out of our Cling to Dust here, which is a really strong position for Ryan to be in, especially given the grind has happened.
Have you played much with Cling to Dust?
I have. I remember playing it when it first came out as well and being like, yeah, this card's real good.
So 3 and a black in the escape mode. You got to exile 5 other cards from your graveyard to be able to play it from your graveyard. And it has the ability to exile a target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you gain 3 life. Otherwise, you draw a card. So pretty good at drawing cards and also gaining life. So it has some different... Fatal push.
Fatal push.
That looks like a fatal push, and that looks
like a lethal fatal push to me.
That looks like a very lethal fatal push.
A fatal push.
A fatal push. Maybe we might say a Worldly Tutor in response. Like,
I'll just show you my deck. Putting a Ponder to the bin, because why not? Just fill the graveyard up.
And there we have it.
There's the handshake.
What a game. That was... Look, I think that...
JD's about to steal Ryan's Baraggoyf here.
Yeah, that's going to be a good little steal on that Baraggoyf.
It's all right. Let's see if they notice or not. It's all right. I mean, maybe our producer Marcus will tell them.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I got it. Yeah, Marcus told them.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, it's good. We don't want anyone showing up with 59 card decks and ruining their own day.
Yeah. That, I tell you what, an absolute masterclass in playing Highlander and playing just complicated Magic the Gathering. I think that if you look back over that, you could analyze all these different lines that you could have been able to play and not been able to work out exactly what the correct one is just because of so many different unknown factors. Like, does Ryan have the Force of Will? Does Ryan have the Days? Am I dead to the Days? Am I not dead to the Days? Trying to work out exactly what to play, and then Ryan just utilizing the cards that he had in order to get over the line, inch in some value, do a little bit of damage here, do a little bit of damage there, put JD in a spot where that mana crunch was a little bit taxing.
Yeah, Ryan definitely leveraging a mana advantage there and paying off really well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, thanks everybody. That's it from us for this round. We'll be back very shortly with another round because that round went pretty much bang on. And so, JD, are we going to be commentating the next round or?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Might be JD and Dylan again. Doesn't really matter. We're all having a good time.
We're all having a good time. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be continuing to bring you some excellent Magic here at Canbrawl. Thanks to Pat at Josh and Patch and Digi Bazaar.
Yep.
And we'll bring you more action very shortly.
See you later, guys. Hello, Dylan Kakawa here, and I have a deck tech for you for Jonns. Jonns is a very popular deck in the